actually 1 year, okay? But his concentration is on what? On projects. Mind you,
Mega
projects.
Yeah.
Do like the Aswan High Dam at the time of Nasser, gathered the public around Nasser. And it was known that having such mega projects will do what? Will combat unemployment.
Sure.
Will add.
Will unify
a boost.
Egyptians, yes.
Exactly. It will unify the sentiments around the guy. And it will what? It will boost the economy.
Maybe because of this, Field Marshal Abdel Fattah al-Sisi preferred to start his campaign meeting with media men and men of letter to spread awareness among people with what you have just said.
Exactly. And mind you, saying I'm not indebted to anyone is very important. Mind you, I always regarded even the American system not to be democratic because of the cost of, going into the process of elections, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, as you've seen.
Yeah.
So the will of the people is somehow, shattered by being, bought or I appear.
We are running out of time, and we do have other banners. But before this,
but the other ones are not that important as this one. Mind you, this is the beginning. The beginning has to be
and because
solid.
of this, I should ask that regarding the 4 explosions which took place, 2 in Cairo and 2 in El Tour and Al Sheikh Zayed in Sinai, which took place on Friday, and with the statements of Ibrahim Mahlab, our Prime Minister, who said that we are expecting more as we come closer to the presidential.
You know what this terrorist group has
do you agree with that?
Its mind? Of course. Of course. Mind you, I want to stop your road map.
Ma'am, in the second segment of Breakfast Show, we are going to talk about fear. Fear. About how to fight fear. This is my question. Egyptians, yes, are going to feel scared?
No.
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 I like this.
Didn't you see what happened on June 30th, Nermeen? We knew that we could be killed, and still we went in.
Ma'am,
we are
thousands
stubborn,
of people for the very first time went to the notary public offices to register their support forms. Whether for LCC.
Why, Nermeen?
Practicing our political rights. It's
not
our right, and we can change.
We are delivering a message.
Yep.
Which is whatever you do will not scare us.
From Al Ahram, we continue urgent governmental plans to save the economy and improve the living conditions, increasing those who will benefit from the social security, 50,000 housing units, new roads to link Cairo with the Nile Delta, and extra fuel quantities for Upper Egypt. The same issue made one of the main headlines of Al-Masri Al-Yom, where we read from Al-Masri Al-Yom divisions inside the government regarding the rationalization of the energy subsidies. Mahlab meets with the economic group and asks for measures to achieve popular consent, and a related banner comes from Ashruk. The government aims at saving £40 billion by reshaping the energy subsidies, increasing the prices of fuel gradually in 3 years, and studying the law of natural resources. One of the many challenges in front of the coming cabinet, in front of the coming president.
Yes, and mind you, okay, subsidizing energy is a great and very, very important issue. Why? Because we see the government is subsidizing energy consumption made by embassies, okay, by big factories who can really afford to pay a big bill. But normal individuals in our society, and we see the horrendous rise in prices of food, for example, of
fruits, vegetables,
all services actually, okay, in one way or another. And mind you, we are not, as Dr. Salah Bouda was saying the other day on Al-Hawa program, that we are rotating around the problem without really tackling the problem. Okay, that we are not trying, to press the factory owners, the big I call them, the big fat cats of our economy. We are not really, you know, attacking them, because they have been benefiting all the time from what really lower level people should have been getting it all, not just part of it. Okay, we have to face our big economists, or our big factory owners. Those big fat cats should not
Tycoons.
only siphon the tycoons, exactly, should not siphon the whole surplus, and leaving the rest of our people, who are actually the majority, Nermeen. Okay, they constitute how many percent? 5%, while 48%
under the line of poverty.
Exactly.
Less than $1 a day.
It's exactly, and this is really
Amen to
very,
that.
very, very bad. Why? Because as long as you have this differentiation, as long as you have no social justice, okay, as long as you have no equality, that means you have no equality, mind you.
Nasser again.
Exactly.
Nasser again.
But even away from Nasser, I mean, if you have this unbalance, it is a seed for another revolution.
Sure.
Do we want that? That is the question.
Yes.
And, you know, rotating around the problem without really tackling it is very bad. And working.
Not anymore. With Egyptians, not anymore.
I understand. But we don't want, you know, an element of controversy, an element of fight between the people, or the majority of the people, and the upcoming president, whom we have put so much hope on. Okay? So we should tackle our problems with what I call courage. Okay?
I think this coming problem needs a lot also of courage.
Yes, and also, Nermeen, before you move, I'm very happy that finally we are tackling the law of natural resources. Mind you, even Salah Gouda said, you are taking in the query things for 35 piastres because this law comes from 1954. How can you apply it now, given this inflation, given this, I don't know.
And this was implemented on 30-something million Egyptians. Now we are about 90.
And even the prices, the piastre had a value. Today the pound doesn't have a value.
Let me take you to Al-Masri Al-Yawm, where we continue with the police entering Al-Azhar University campus and surround the walls of the universities to secure the end of the year exams. And from Al-Yawm Al-Saba, this is another banner tackling the same issue. The universities guarded by the police on the first day of the exams. Security formations around Cairo University. Back again to the very old subject. Guards of the university. Is it a must, or the police forces can do?
It's a must. And I do blame Dr. Gaber Gad Nassar for the disasters that happened through the year.
And we wish his son a speedy recovery.
Yes. And imagine if I would take my idea up to a stand to what happened to his own son.
Yeah.
Okay. And I cannot really. Okay. If I'm going to run for elections, I shouldn't pay the lives of the Egyptians, and he did that. And I really blame him. Okay.
This is being stubborn, or underestimating the situation.
No.
Or not to know how much it is dangerous, or what, ma'am?
To be honest, I heard the guy prior to or at the time of the Brotherhoods, and I admired what he was doing. Now I really don't admire him at all, because I wouldn't be that stubborn and that much blinded by my ambition to the extent of jeopardizing the lives of youngsters. How many lives were lost, Nermeen, around the university?
Let us end with something nice, with a smile on the face. After returning back from Washington, Foreign Minister Nabil Fahmy said, I told the Americans I came to represent a nation that has its own decision. I like the word.
I like the word, but I don't like the attitude.
Attitude of whom?
Of him.
Of our top diplomat?
Yes.
In brief, why?
Why?
Yep.
He said we are married.
Ma'am, this was very much
No,
not
I
translated in a very accurate way.
No.
It was apologized on behalf of the foreign ministry.
How come a person of his caliber?
Ma'am, you are talking about a man who was the ambassador of Egypt in Washington for more than a decade.
Unforgivable. What he did is unforgivable. It doesn't show tactics. It doesn't show, this finesse, as we call it.
You mean this diplomatic sense, for instance?
For instance.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm representing the people. Okay. What marriage? I've seen the article in English, and it's disastrous. It's a disgrace to himself.
But
we have to bear it. But he has to choose his words right. I hope he doesn't go. He was doing very well, and I praised him many times. But what he did in Washington, I cannot apprehend.
Still, representing a nation that
he
has
has
its
to
own
speak.
decision.
No,
that's it.
Nermeen,
That's the
he
message
has to
he
speak
delivered.
from an equal footage with the Americans.
Ma'am, this is
what
exactly
he did
what happened.
is not
He said.
I say
He was quoted as saying the
No.
American-Egyptian relations should be based on mutual respect.
Yeah, but if I come and say I'm married to you, what mutual respect?
I've not read the article, so
I've seen it. I've seen it on
cannot
Amra
judge it.
Adib's program in the English version. I didn't investigate it myself, to be honest. But nevertheless, please, Mr. Fahmy, have mercy on us. We are really boiling against the acts of the Americans, and we should really deal with the Americans and the West from equal footage. We have already dealt with the East. Why did we go to the East again? It reminds us of 1954. He has not to forget 1954 and what happened to Gamal Abdel Nasser, which sent him to the East. No, the refusal of the West to provide Egypt
1954 was
with
such a year,
the armaments.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's why we went to where? To Czechoslovakia. Okay, and this marked the beginning of relations between Egypt and the Soviet Union and the Eastern Bloc in general. Now we are moving to the East. Beware, Mr. Fahmy. We are trying to achieve a balance between the East and the West. I'm not saying to be against the U.S.
We are witnessing a new era, ma'am.
We should.
And tomorrow is another day.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. Dr. Mervat Madkour, thank you very much for being with us. Unfortunately, we are running out of time, but I do enjoy our discussion.
I enjoyed it very much too.
By this, we come to the end of our press review. After the short break, we're going to be back with more in the BreakFast show.